As we set off on our epic journey through Europe to Rome and Berlin, who should see us off but Jeffrey, who was staying for the night.
Bye.
Bye.
Arrivederci.
We spent our first night in student accommodation at the University of Doncaster and then on next day through the Channel Tunnel to Lyon. The accommodation was marginal in a motel and we spent the evening visiting the Lyon Cathedral, which was huge and is considered to be one of the biggest in Europe.
Right, postcards.
We then had our first dinner in the Cathedral Square and then back to the hotel in the twilight. Next morning we stopped at Reims to see a very similar cathedral to Lyon. Then on to Strasbourg for the night, where we had difficulty finding our hotel behind those bollards. We had a walk around the city to see the sights and the cathedral.
Oh, that's one way more interesting.
It rained during most of our visit.
It says, couldn't have been wetter than it was this morning when we were on the motorway. Torrential.
Travel south in the rain through Bâle and the Gotthard Tunnel to Lugano, and stay at the Hotel Victoria, which is the most unpleasant yet. The only good news was the car was in a garage.
Over there. As far as you can see, it's sort of there, all the way around here.
And it was still raining when we set off for San Marino in Italy. We spent in the night in the Grand Hotel San Marino, which had the most beautiful views overlooking the valley from the front rooms,
Main Street.
but no view from the back rooms, and they refused to upgrade us. They said they were full. We then had dinner in the hotel, and the menu was posted outside.
Finished dinner at about 10:30, and breakfast is on its way. Here we are in the garage, and we were trying to get some pillows out of our car, but unfortunately it's up on the first floor.
Walking through the town next morning, we came across the changing of the guard, which they do 2 or 3 times a day, I think.
Udite, udite! Per ordine...
It's all uphill in San Marino, or of course downhill, and we took a little walk up through the ramparts.
Wolf on the stairs. Eating on the grass.
Our final shot as we leave on the road to Rome. And there we met the Thompsons at our very comfortable hotel, the Raphael, to the Piazza Navona. And the next morning we set off for the Colosseum. The tour director sorts us out, and then we wait patiently for our guide. And here she is.
Geez, this is a movie.
James and Hannah listening intently to the instructions, and one of the last survivors of the Roman Empire.
Everything was kept underneath. There used to be 2 floors.
We tour the ground floor and then go up to the second level on our own without the guide for a better view of the Colosseum, which could accommodate 60,000 spectators. In the afternoon, we have a new guide. Very nice.
Okay guys, it's over here guys, can everybody hear me okay? Too small to have been used for chariot racing, which was built by Domitian to commemorate his brother's victory over the sacking of Jerusalem in 70 AD. The three big arches right in front of us, that was the basilica.
In the evening, on our way to dinner, we passed a church with a bride, so we all have a look. And she was not the prettiest young Italian lady I have seen. We then visit the Pantheon, which was closed, but instead make friends with some horses. And then we have dinner up on the roof of our hotel and have a beautiful view of the city. Next morning, when the Thompsons went to the Vatican, we went to Santa Maria Maggiore.
Wood ceiling believed to have been gilded with first gold brought from the New World.
And followed that with a visit to San Pietro di Vancoli to visit Moses. We then all met up at the Spanish Steps or close by at a restaurant for lunch. And in the evening it was a drink in the Piazza Navona, and some of us managed to burn our hair on the candle.
You sure you're not drinking it? No, drink it!
Then it was time to say a sad goodbye, and we were off on our own again to Lugano. On our way, we stopped at the Palace Hotel in Bologna for the night, and it looks like a city we should visit again. Our hotel in Montagnola with an interesting view. Our very restful day in Montagnola at the house of the Olbecks, which was very welcome. It is the parrot that's upside down and not me, and Mario keeps a number of them, which can be very useful if you've forgotten your wire cutters.
There's the proof that we're in the pool.
We drove to Menaggio the following day and took the ferry to Bellagio for lunch.
Through the glass, like that.
On our way to Baden-Baden, we drove up the San Bernardino Valley and through the tunnel. At Baden-Baden, we stayed at Jerry's apartment, and unfortunately I lost my videos. And then it was on to Bayreuth and the home of Wagner. The old opera house, which was entirely built of wood and was very ornate. And then Wagner's home in the town and the new theatre, which was magnificent. Finally, we reached Berlin and our rather quirky hotel room with a view from the bedroom straight into the bathroom. Dinner at the hotel restaurant, outside, and watching the world go by. Selling the early edition of the Berliner Zeitung. Berlin, you have to remember, was totally destroyed in the war.
That bus from yesterday, the city circle.
And so everything you see virtually is new. You view from the top of the French cathedral and the famous Brandenburg Gates, which were in limbo during the Cold War. And the Reichstag, where we missed the queues by booking for lunch. No queues. The Schloss Charlottenburg and the Berliner Dom Cathedral, which is very ornate, but was only completely restored a few years ago. And then sadly we turned the car towards Edinburgh, stay the night at Nijmegen in Holland, and then cross the channel, and it's a night at the Western Manor Hotel before we get to Edinburgh, number 29 again. And it's raining. 4,245 miles, but it was all well worth it. A wonderful trip.